Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I look a little bit different this week. I'm a little bit of a, a little bit of a biker chick, keeping that kind of vibe. I've been cleaning everything out and it's been so long since I wore a leather jacket, I thought, why not? You might also notice that this is my third upload in a row and I also have no makeup on so far in this video. This is me au natural and this is what you're going to see throughout this video because this video is a little bit something different. This is the start of a series called Are You Joking? You can say it any way that you like, with an accent, without, but this is Are You Joking? And this is going to be a reaction series that I'm going to run on my YouTube channel. I thought, what better way to start than a little bit of a declutter and actually react to things that I've purchased in the past. Picking out things that I'm going to chuck in the bin, picking out things that I'm going to donate to friends, and deciding whether or not they were worth it overall and if I would repurchase again. Nice and short intro for this one, guys. Cue a little bit of footage of me going through everything that I own, which is a lot. And I will see you again at the end of the video to talk through some of the products that I may or may not be getting rid of. As you can see, a bitch has a lot of shit. So I have some things to go through now. There's a lot of this that I will be keeping. Some of this definitely is way past its date and needs to go in the bin. So I'm going to make a couple of piles of stuff that I'm keeping, stuff that I'm chucking, stuff that I'm going to give away to friends, and then obviously reorganise the stuff that we're going to keep. So yeah, I have an entire bag down there. Which is full of stuff to go in the bin. I've got a couple of things that friends would like. I want to use this time to address a couple of things. So these over here, we no longer support the brand or the individual behind the brand. However, these were bought a long time ago and when we did, so I'm going to continue to go through these. You will never see them other than this little clip right here. You will never see them on my channel again or on my Instagram, but I'm going to use them until basically I can use them no more. That being said, these right here, bye boo boo. Leaving your ass in 2020. I feel like we're starting to get somewhere. Over here I've got all my work stuff set up so they'll stay in this drawer in these nice little cute holders. For those of you that don't know, I do work for Cody, which owns Max Factor and Rimmel, hence why I've got a lot of cosmetics over here for work. This is a collection of some things that I'm keeping, some things that I'm chucking out. So we are actually going to discuss some of these at the end and would I repurchase or would I not? And I think it's time we get through this entire basket of products. So I have here an entire basket of things that I'm either keeping or getting rid of, but I thought it would just be interesting places to start and interesting things to talk about. The first things that are in the basket that are going to remain in storage and I'm going to keep are these two. Need I say any more about these palettes? If you haven't already, the review for these palettes was up last week on my channel. These are 100% staying. The next items I want to talk about are these. These are all ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. There is one that I'm donating to a friend. These palettes are some of the original, more sought after palette. You have the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam here. You've got the Alyssa Edwards one, which is honestly one of my favourites. And then you've got the Norvina and the Riviera one. In the future, I probably see myself getting rid of the Riviera and the Norvina ones and keeping the other three. But for now, these 5 palettes are definitely staying. I'm going to try and make more of a conscious effort to use these, especially in 2021. Now, if you've followed me for any amount of time, you know lashes have only been a recent thing, but that's not to say that I haven't had lashes in the past that probably need throwing out right about now. I used to be obsessed with these lashes. These are the Pinky Goat lashes in style Ruba. Now, I used to be obsessed with these, but now that I'm wearing lashes a lot more and I know what a good lash is, I'm not saying they're not good, but for the price, they're not my favourite. So those are definitely going the distance. Now, I just want to say there are a lot of things that I'm throwing out. I didn't feel like we would have the time to react to absolutely everything. So I've just picked out 1 or 2 interesting things just to talk about and recap at the end of the video. The next thing I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most disappointing launches in recent memory, and that is the House Laboratories range. I'm not saying these are horrible. I'm not saying the pigmentation is horrendous. I quite like the gloss. On me, because I've got hooded eyes, the liquid eyeshadow doesn't last all day. However, I would say this is 100% phoned in. I love Lady Gaga. I love everything she stands for. I love her music. I love her acting. This is just not the one, sis. Like, for a Lady Gaga range, I expected a lot more. And that was one of the most exciting celebrity makeup lines that I was looking forward to. And I can say I was quite disappointed. Now, I have a lot of products from when I used to work at MAC that I've had since I used to work at MAC, so they definitely need to go in the bin because they are beyond out of date. But I thought, let's talk Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. Do you remember when this was all the rage? When this foundation was everywhere? Every influencer to be, every YouTuber at one point used Studio Fix Fluid. I've had this for a long time, so it definitely needs to go in the bin, but oh, it's got that good Studio Fix smell. If you've ever smelled Studio Fix foundation, you know what I mean. This was, for the longest time, a ride or die of mine. I can fully say that I don't think the shade was ever right for me. This was something I used. It was something my mum used when I got her ready for nights out. It might have stood the test of time way back when, but it's definitely going in the bin this time because it is 100% out of date. I probably wouldn't buy Studio Fix again now. Something I would 100% recommend a repurchase are MAC lipsticks. Now, these are only going in the bin because they now smell like Play-Doh, so they are definitely out of date. But MAC lipsticks are something else. They are creamy, their matte formula's not overly matte, the lipsticks are good. It's one of the bread and butter ranges of MAC. I've had so many of these lipsticks for so long now that unfortunately they do need to go in the bin, but that doesn't mean I won't repurchase these in the future. These are shades Whirl and Lady Danger, for example, and I absolutely love both shades. Now that I don't have any, it's a perfect excuse to buy more. Stop me if you have ever used this. I can't believe I still have this. I'm sure I've had this since I was 21 and I am now 29. So, yeah, she's been around. This is, of course, the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. It's the original bronzer. It was a ride or die for so many. We all loved this at one point. We've all tried this at one point. It now, like, I got this before they added other shades. There's now light. I know there's a caramelly one. It's not the most diverse shade range. It's a lovely bronzer if you're looking for something nice and soft and natural with a lovely matte finish. I don't think I'll repurchase this one, but it was such a lovely bronzer at the time. Unfortunately, it is definitely time to let it go. There was one thing I came across that I don't think I ever quite grasped the hype for, and that was the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liners. I don't understand these. I probably should have got rid of this such a long time ago. I remember putting it on my eye and having a weird burning sensation. I'm not entirely sure that's how an eye product should feel or what it should necessarily do. I used to see so many people rocking these for like half creases, for like liner underneath, just add a little bit of pop and a little bit of sparkle. I don't think I ever got on with these. I never understood them. I don't think I will repurchase from these. The more I get through these, the more I'm starting to find the products that I will be repurchasing. I loved this. This is the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner. This is such a good liner. I love the packaging because it doesn't roll about, so it doesn't fall off the table when you're using it. It dries ultra matte. It doesn't budge all day. It's a foam tip applicator. Again, this one's completely dry. I remember loving this so much. Genuinely good that it's run out. Unfortunately, because it has dried out, this one is going to go in the bin, but it is definitely on a list of things to repurchase. The first palette that I'm parting with is this little lady right here, the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, this is the original one. I remember buying this to make myself feel better when I was poorly. This is the one that you can't wipe down, so sorry it's a little bit grubby and a little bit dirty. I remember everybody and their dog had this palette at one point. It's pretty much a nude palette with a pop of blue. We all went through a phase where we had a palette like that, and we loved a palette like that. The formulation at the time, it was pigmented, it was new for Morphe. Morphe palettes had that little moment where they changed and were good, and everybody loved them, especially for the price point. I'm keeping the James Charles one, but the Jaclyn Hill one is an example of a palette at the time that was stunning and we all loved it, but I don't reach for it anymore. And so unfortunately, Miss Hill, it's time to let you go. I do have another Morphe palette that I'm going to part with that's not quite as old as the Jaclyn Hill palette, and that would be this one. This is the 39L Hit the Lights palette that only came out a couple of Christmases ago. I did at the time review this for my channel, but since doing that review, I can't say that I've actually reached for this palette. It's not stood the test of time compared to what I use these days. This palette is definitely the start of the Morphe that we know today that is a little bit swept under the rug and not everybody's favourite. Despite in the past reviewing the palette and actually liking the palette well over a year later, I'm letting you go, sis. Let's end the video on a positive note though and go through 3 products that I will definitely repurchase. First things first, this is my Marc Jacobs bronzer. The only reason I'm parting with this is because I've had it for so long. It's still got a lot of product in there, but I'm not reaching for it as much as I used to. I do want to repurchase this one, but what I will say is I would prefer to repurchase this one in a much smaller size. It's far too big for a bronzer. I love it. I absolutely love the colour and the pigmentation, and the product is stunning, especially for the price that you pay for it, which is a lot. But I need a smaller size, Mark. I need a travel size. I am not going to go through this. Like, I've had it 3 years and I'm still not through it. I need something I can go through. So I need a smaller one. Please. Thank you. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to repurchase, and this is because of an accidental problem that I had, is the Artist Couture loose highlighters. These are stunning. They are so silky and smooth. They look gorgeous and glowy on the cheeks. They blend right in with anything that you're using. They're not chunky, they're not glittery, they're stunning. The only reason I am repurchasing this is because I've broke the packaging. I can't use this as it is. It is so broken. The colour is stunning. This is the shade Illuminati and it's such a classic. So I definitely need to repurchase. The next item I want to discuss is something more recent, and I'm only including this because it needs to go in the bin because it's empty. It's the Hangover RX Primer by Too Faced. I said a couple of videos ago that I was already starting to get through this, and I am now literally, I think I've got a pump and a half left, and it's time to let it go. I need to get the bigger size because this primer is absolutely gorgeous on the skin. It's so thin and fluid-like, and it gives me all the hydration that I need. Like I said, I got the travel size so I could try it out. It's time to let go of the travel size and upgrade to the full size. And there we have it, a lovely declutter to start 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was something a little bit different. The Are You Joking series will continue. I just wanted to start with something that was a little bit more personal. I hope you weren't sat there too much going, are you joking? To how many products that I was actually going to throw out or things that I was going to repurchase. If you did, comment below and let me know what made you go, are you joking? He's getting rid of that. Thanks for watching another video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out if you're not already. I'm just going to chill and sort out all my things. I'm just going to pop a little, you know, a couple of little videos on this side. Feel free to watch through those, click through those, and I will see you in the next video, which will definitely be a tutorial, and I will have cosmeceuticals on. So I will see you then. Bye, guys.